Hello everyone, this is PotatoLegion here. We finally got the last patch notes for the Skull Merchant. These are her last changes. I haven't read this aloud, so let's go through everything together. And let me know in the comments what you think about the Skull Merchant's final changes. So there's just a greeting part here. Let's just get straight into it. The Skull Merchant, with the overhaul on the P2B, we set our sights on the frustrating strategies that emerged due to how the Skull Merchant's power worked. While we're pleased to see that she was no longer a gen defending powerhouse, we noticed many felt that she was left in a weaker state. The intent of this update is not to weaken the killer overall, so we're making a series of adjustments to address some of the feedback we received. So scanning. During the PTB, many killers reported having difficulty scanning survivors with their drones, making the frequency of lock-on lower than we'd like. To ensure that her eyes in the sky truly are tools of torment, we have a series of changes in store. This is most noticeable on tiles, which survivors ideally want to run in a clockwise direction anyway, to line themselves up for a fast vault. To remedy this, the Skull Merchant can now toggle the direction her drones rotate while using her radar. This way you can swap directions to force the beam to cross a survivor's path more often. Experienced killers who know the best ways to run certain tiles will also be able to preemptively choose the best direction for the loop they've deployed their drone in. Some found drone management to be a little stressful, largely since recalling a drone would put your power on cooldown. This forced the killer to rush to recall drones that are no longer needed whenever they had a moment downtime, so their power was ready for the next chase. To address this, drones can now be recalled at any time, and recalling a drone no longer incurs a cooldown. These two changes actually seem really nice and more interactive in the power, so that's pretty cool. And now you can instantly recall drones with little to no punishment, so she can be a little bit more aggressive in chase. I don't know if that's going to make it so that she can keep placing them by gens again and stick to a 3-gen strat. Who knows? Eyes in the sky. Third, we've made a series of smaller adjustments to make it harder for survivors to cross through a drone's effective area without being scanned. Increase the drone's radius to 10 meters was 8. Increase the drone's rotation speed in stealth mode to 60 degrees per second was 50. Increases the drone's rotation speed in scouting mode to 85 degrees per second was 75. Lastly, to give the Skull Merchant more control when deploying a drone's beams now face directly in front and behind her as default, allowing skilled killers to scan survivors as soon as they're deployed. We've also decreased the drone's initialization time to 0.3 seconds was 1.5 seconds, so they activate more quickly and feel more responsive. Oh, this means you can basically use it during chase. So if someone's going to a window, you can just be like, bam, drone, laser in front, scan. It means you should be able to injure people, hopefully, in chase, making drones a more in-chase option. Combine these changes to make Skull Merchant feel better to play and more consistent now that her drones can't be used to defend generators. I actually do like these changes. I'm actually really looking forward to playing her. I played her recently in a video. You guys have seen a lot of Skull Merchant content from me, and I've been having fun with her. So I'm looking forward to like a trap-based sort of killer where you push people into stuff and then you can hopefully use it in chase now. So let's see how this goes. I like these changes. They don't seem too crazy strong. So anti-face camping. Anti-face camping is here, and so is the killer. This mechanic aims to provide survivors with counterplay for some of the most egregious cases of camping. From what we observed on the PTB, the system seems to come to the rescue when needed most, though we'll of course continue monitoring and making adjustments as needed. However, there are a few rough edges which we're looking to refine before this goes live. Grace period. One of the most common critiques of this mechanic comes from the way the meter immediately starts to fill before the killer could possibly walk away. Although this alone wouldn't cause survivors to free themselves, this understandably feels as if the game is wrongly treating you as if you're camping. There will now be a 7-second grace period before the meter starts filling after hooking a survivor. This will give the killer an opportunity to walk away before the system kicks in, with a little wiggle room to kick a nearby generator or reload at a locker. Dying and carried survivors. During the PTB, dying and carried survivors did not influence the fill rate of the meter. The former led to some awkward scenarios where a dying survivor with a perk that allowed them to pick themselves up could force the killer to stay nearby, while the latter both exaggerated the strategy as well as punishing the killer for hooking multiple survivors in the basement. Therefore, dying will slow the meter as if though they were standing, so long as they are in the area, and carried survivors now pause the progress bar completely. Love that change. Glad they identified that because that was a huge problem that could have been abused. So that's awesome. Vertically, when this feature was tested on the PTB, it treated both horizontal and vertical distances equally. However, this has a side effect on detecting killers on different floors as camping, even if the shortest path to the hook survival was rather long. This was essentially noticeable on indoor maps such as the game. In a later update, the meter will be weighted more heavily towards horizontal distance than vertical. This will make a meter a little more forgiving if the killer passes by on another floor. It shouldn't, on the game, if a killer is above you, it shouldn't proc no matter what. Like, sometimes you're chasing people above someone else. That's how multiple floors should work. So I'm glad they've addressed that kind of. We'll see how that plays out. As I said, they haven't removed the vertical camping thing. Perk updates. We received a bunch of feedback on the 2 perks which were tweaked in the past BTB. So we went back to the drawing board to deliver a new set of changes. Furtive Chase. We initially increased the turn radius reduction for each token, though many still don't find this a very appealing choice. Furtive Chase will receive a rework when the update goes live. When hooking the Obsession, gain Undetectable and a 5% haste status effect for 14, 16, 18 seconds. When the Obsession is rescued from the hook, the rescue becomes the Obsession. With this new version, Furtive Chase rewards the killer for switching targets and allows them to find a new survivor to chase more quickly after hooking. That's nice. I like that change. A bit of stealth, running up to somebody with a bit of haste. That's really cool. Background player. This perk is most often used for saving teammates, allowing you to get into position quickly in key moments. However, since the killer's pickup animation is shorter than the perk's duration, it would usually be too late to save your teammate by the time the speed boost ended. Therefore, background player now causes you to sprint at 200% speed for 5 seconds. It was 4 seconds when the killer picks up a dying survivor. This way, background player will allow you to cover more distance quicker than before, potentially allowing you to get in position for time to make the save. I think that's a bit busted. If you're going against somebody that has basically 100% guaranteed flashlight skill, I can always land a hit. That speed, 200%, just zooming in, unless you're facing a wall, like your teammates could deliberately go down out in the open and just constantly run in. Obviously, you can be exhausted, so it'll only affect you once, but then you got to go back in chase down and hopefully pray that survivor isn't going to get another flashlight save. I feel like that is going to be quite annoying. But it's going to be fun to use as a survivor, so yeah. The Trapper, we were delighted to see such positive reaction to the adjustments we made to the Trapper. As we dug through the PTB feedback, we noticed many of you found it impractical to wander so far to gather your traps at the start of the match. While the Trapper is still in the spotlight, we decided to make one more change. The Trapper's bear traps will spawn closer to generators. This way you'll have to stray less from your usual patrol routes before collecting a trap. That's nice. I like that change. That's awesome. Unfortunately, they weren't able to squeeze a change in the initial release, but will be part of a smaller patch coming in the weeks. Okay, so you do not expect that coming out next update, guys. Shad Square, last but certainly not least, we have a few more adjustments on the way for Shad Square. We received some feedback regarding the strength of certain pallet loops and the number of pallets overall. For this update's release, we've reviewed the loops in question and slightly reduced the number of pallets which spawn. Yes, kill this map. Thank you, guys. It's awesome. As this brings the end of the developer update, and they just want to thank everyone for this, and some changes will be added in minor patches later on. So this is coming out next Tuesday's patch. So most of it really is about the Skull Merchant changes, so they've given her some nice buffs overall, which is really awesome. Looking forward to these changes coming to the live game. If you guys do want to catch me live on stream, don't forget to hit the Twitch link in the description. I'll do my best to cover the Skull Merchant live on stream next week at some point, probably on the Wednesday, so I have a full day of trying her out on the PTB, because I normally stream 12 till 5. So if I do it on the Tuesday, you only get an hour, whereas on a Wednesday, you'll get a full day of me trying it out. Anyway, rambling on for too long. Take care, everyone. Peace out.
私の名は吉良義景、年齢33歳。自宅は森王町北東部の別荘地帯にあり、結婚はしていない。